Why did my marriage fail, but God brought it back? Part two. This isn't an overnight success story. In fact, I got to go all the way back to my childhood. Now, if you're looking for me to cut to the chase, it ain't going to happen. There's some things that I just cannot skip as it relates to this situation that happened. For one, I want to make sure that I work out all the details. For two, I know that there may be somebody that needs to hear this for the sake of deliverance. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. A lot of things that happened to me when I was a child I thought would simply go away. But I quickly realized when I became an adult, that's simply not true. There was a lot of things that were stored up in my subconscious, things that I could not understand, things that I could not articulate to my mom and say, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I'm going through. This is how my environment makes me feel. This is how my environment impacts me. And I think that this is very important because many are trying to get through life without dealing with the pain and the trauma and the things that happened to them when they was children. When the reality of those things finally came to pass and I had to address them, they came knocking on my door. I tried to act like I wasn't home. If I did address those things, I used them as a crutch and say, you know what? I have every right to react the way that I'm reacting towards life because this happened to me. I have every right to think the way that I think because this happened to me, because that happened to me. But I only realized that these were setbacks that I was using to set myself back. So it felt good in a sense. But the more I came to the reality that these things are just not going to go away because you're using them as a crutch, I had to face them. Let me let you into one of these situations. So I grew up in Miami, single parent home, me, my brother, and I believe two sisters at the time. I didn't know my dad. I didn't know him at all. The first time I met him, I was 11 years old. And when I finally met him, my aunt took us over to his mother's house, which is my grandmother. I ain't even know what was going on at the time. So we pull up to the house. He gets called outside. There wasn't no warm wishes. Hey, children, y'all come here. Wasn't none of that. It was like almost now that I'm able to think about it, like, why y'all bring them over here? We go into the house, my grandmother's house, and I see all of my cousins, they're playing, they're doing whatever it is that they're doing. My dad, what did he do? He go in the room with his girlfriend and close the door, shut us out. So now, here it is. First of all, I don't even know what to think of this situation because we're just dropped off. Though these people are my family, I don't know them. And the one we were supposed to come over here for, that we may get to know him, is in a room locked up with his girlfriend, meaning he doesn't want anything to do with us. This is the first sign of abandonment, even though I did not know how to articulate that. It impacted me. Though I could not yell at that time and say, hey man, what are you doing? This is going to impact me when I'm 37. This is going to impact me when I'm 28. This is going to impact me when I'm 14. I couldn't explain that. But my subconscious, it took it all in. And at the very right time in life, it replayed itself. And when it did not feel good. It caused the pain to happen in me. And in order for me to get over that pain or to get through that pain, I had to mask it, especially when I didn't have the answer for it. I remember after that day, he would call and say, I'm coming to get you and your brother. And as kids, we just excited. Here it is, finally, we've been wondering all this time where this man has been. And now he just said he's coming to get us. And so we would stare out the window. Me and my brother would take turns staring out the window, waiting for his car to pull up in the parking lot. You know what my mom would tell us? I don't know why y'all standing at the window. He ain't coming. Right now I could say, boy, she told the truth. But at that time I was too excited. My brother was too excited. The things that he said he would get for us, the toys, the bikes, the clothing, he's going to take us out to do this and take us out to do that, never came. In fact, he never showed up. We got tired. The excitement dwindled little by little by little, and we just left the window alone altogether. And here it is again. More impacts of abandonment. Now at 11 years old, I don't know what abandonment means. I don't know what abandonment will do to me in the years to come. I did not know that abandonment will affect every relationship that I found myself in, including the marriage that I lost. But let's continue. Even at 11, was I a junkie for pain? Was I really? Because here it is. He calls again. I'm coming to get y'all. I'm sorry. I'm going to get y'all this and I'm going to get y'all that for your birthday and I'm going to get y'all this. And the excitement comes again and he lets us down again. He doesn't show up again. And so here are these impacts that are building up in my subconscious. And I'm not paying it any attention at that point because then, again, I can't articulate how I'm feeling or what this will mean to me then and even in the future. I chalked it up to it is what it is. And I hit the streets. And in me hitting the streets young, I got my first tattoo, I believe I was 12 years old. I just started running the streets. I don't have any real male role model to invest any real time in me. And so I'm learning comfort from the streets. Though this was a false comfort, I was around some dudes my age, and we had some kind of things in common. You know, even at that age, I'm rolling up things I ain't supposed to be rolling up. I'm pouring up things I ain't supposed to be pouring up. And people would say, well, where was his parents? At home doing what she was supposed to do? You got somebody as rebellious as me at 13 who's defiant, who's getting kicked out of school, who's getting kicked out of every school, in fact, that I've ever been to. Defiant, don't want to hear nothing about nothing concerning anything as it relates to how I'm going to live my life. What you going to do with me as a parent? You think you going to beat me? You going to punish me enough? That's going to make me turn around? You're dealing with a young man who's furious on the inside and don't even know why. I didn't even know why I was upset. I didn't even know why I was angry. What I could understand, though, is that I go outside and I hang around my other friends and I see mother, father. And I see what looked like now to be a wholesome family. But then when I think back in my life, like, I just got my mom. But that's what I want. Can you picture that? Just a young kid saying he wish he was a part of a whole different family. I wish that was my family. Why? Because I see them get things that I couldn't get. I see my friends get affection and attention that I wasn't getting. And I wanted that. I wanted that. I couldn't express it. I couldn't go back home and say, Mom, I saw this outside with my friend and I saw his mom and his dad showing him attention. Why? Because I couldn't articulate that. But I knew enough to know that's what I wanted. This is why I had to go all the way back to my childhood. Because there's things that are happening, there are things that are happening to me that I could not escape. And I had to face them. I had to address them. There wasn't no sweeping them under the rug. And I believe that in order for us to get through this, to really get to the place to understand how I actually lost my marriage, well, we got to deal with this. There is no just an action, one isolated actions. No, there's some actions that took place even before I met her. And because I did not deal with these actions, because I did not address these actions, it came to a head and it caused some damage. But let's get back to my childhood. Rough, rugged, kicked out of every school, elementary, middle, and high school. Running the streets, doing what I wasn't supposed to. Y'all stick around for part 3.